Tonight, we take a deep dive into one of the most important and dangerous flashpoints on Earth, the South China Sea. At the center of this story is the Philippines, a nation of more than 7,600 islands that has suddenly found itself thrust into the front lines of a contest between two giants, the United States and China. Once seen as a secondary player, the Philippines is now a pivotal actor in the future balance of power in Asia and the Pacific. Why does this island nation matter so much? Why is Washington rebuilding its presence there after decades of absence? And why is Beijing watching every move with a growing alarm? The answers reveal more than just geography. They reveal the future of security, trade, and power in one of the world's most contested regions. In the heart of the South China Sea, tensions between Manila and Beijing have simmered for decades. But today, those tensions are reaching new heights as the Philippines pushes back against Chinese expansion. The spotlight has fallen on Thitu Island, known to Filipinos as Pag-asa. This small island, part of the Spratly chain, has been under Philippine control since 1971. Unlike most features in the Spratlys, Pag-asa has something unique, a permanent civilian population. Families, fishing communities, and even a local government call it home. This makes it more than just a military outpost. It is living, breathing proof of Philippine sovereignty. And that sovereignty is being reinforced through infrastructure. Recently, Manila completed the extension of a 3-kilometer runway on Pag-asa, long enough to accommodate large military aircraft, such as the C-130 Hercules. This is a game changer. For years, access to the island was limited to smaller planes and boats, making resupply difficult and limiting its role. But now the upgraded airstrip allows larger aircraft to land, improving both military logistics and humanitarian access. Alongside the runway, a new hangar and a control tower are nearing completion, ensuring safer and more efficient operations. For the Philippines, these aren't just construction projects. They are a message. We are here to stay. But just 14 miles away looms a reminder of the challenge Manila faces: China's fortified Subi Reef. Over the past decade, Beijing has transformed reefs and atolls into sprawling military bases. Fiery Cross, Subi, and Mischief Reefs now form a triangle of Chinese air power in the South China Sea. Each features long runways, deep water harbors, advanced radar systems, and missile defenses. Together, they allow China to project force across the entire region, intimidate rival claimants, and monitor one of the busiest waterways on Earth. According to estimates, more than $3 trillion worth of global trade passes through the South China Sea each year. For Beijing, dominance here is not just about territory, it is about economic lifelines and strategic depth. For the Philippines, the contrast is stark. While China pours billions into militarized artificial islands, Manila is only now beginning to catch up. Every runway extension, every new facility, is an attempt to prevent being overshadowed in its own backyard. To understand the Philippines' response, we must turn to Palawan, the island province closest to the disputed Spratlys. Palawan is home to the Western Command of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, the unit tasked with defending the nation's claims in the West Philippine Sea. From here, patrol ships, reconnaissance aircraft, and Coast Guard vessels are dispatched daily to monitor contested waters. But Palawan is also becoming the centerpiece of renewed U.S.-Philippine cooperation. Under the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA, American forces are building and upgrading facilities across the Philippines. Two of those projects are in Palawan. At Oyster Bay, a natural harbor already used for resupply missions to Ayungin Shoal, the U.S. is funding a new boat maintenance facility. Farther south, in the municipality of Quezon, another site is being prepared for joint use. The importance of Oyster Bay cannot be overstated. It sits close to flashpoints where Philippine supply boats have faced Chinese blockades and even water cannon attacks. Strengthening it means strengthening Manila's ability to maintain a presence in contested waters, something Beijing wants to prevent. Palawan isn't the only focus. Across the Philippines, a network of EDCA sites is transforming the defense landscape. One of the most important is Antonio Bautista Air Base, located in Puerto Princesa City. Originally an airfield shared with the city's international airport, it now serves as a vital hub for surveillance flights and rapid deployments. Farther south lies Balabac Island, perhaps the most strategic of all. Announced as an EDCA site in 2023, Balabac is now home to a brand new 3-kilometer runway, long enough to host heavy U.S. and Philippine military aircraft. Alongside it, a naval facility is under development. Why Balabac? Geography. The island sits at the southern tip of Palawan, facing directly into the contested waters of the South China Sea. Just across lies the Balabac Strait, a vital international sea lane. And only about 140 nautical miles away is Mischief Reef, one of China's most heavily militarized outposts, built inside the Philippines' own exclusive economic zone. Balabac is more than symbolic. It provides Manila and Washington with a forward base for patrols, resupply missions, and deterrence operations. It also anchors the Philippines firmly into America's first island chain strategy. To understand why the Philippines matters so much, we need to zoom out. The first island chain is a defensive arc of territory stretching from Japan, through Taiwan, down to the Philippines and across to Borneo. For the United States and its allies, this chain acts as a barrier, one that can contain China's navy and limit its access to the wider Pacific. Beyond it lies the second island chain, anchored by Guam, and farther still, the third island chain, including Hawaii. Together, these form a layered defense system designed during the Cold War, but still relevant today. For China, breaking through these chains is essential to becoming a true global naval power. And standing right in the middle of the first island chain is the Philippines. This is why Beijing invests so heavily in the South China Sea. And it is why Washington has returned after leaving in the 1990s. To see how far things have come, let's revisit the 1990s. For nearly a century, the United States maintained large military bases in the Philippines. The most famous was Subic Bay Naval Base, once the largest U.S. naval installation outside America. Alongside it stood Clark Air Base, a critical hub for U.S. air power in Asia. But in 1991, the Philippine Senate voted to reject a new treaty that would have extended America's lease. By 1992, U.S. forces had withdrawn, and many thought it was the end of an era. At the time, China's naval power was limited. The Cold War had ended, and the U.S. believed it could afford to scale back. But fast forward to today, and the picture is very different. China now commands the world's largest navy by number of ships, with advanced destroyers, submarines, and carriers entering service at a rapid pace. The return of American forces under EDCA is not nostalgia, it's necessity. From Beijing's perspective, its actions are justified. Chinese officials point to historical maps and records to claim indisputable sovereignty over most of the South China Sea. This is drawn as the so-called 9-dash line, a sweeping boundary that cuts deep into the exclusive economic zones of the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Brunei. But in 2016, an international tribunal in The Hague ruled against China's claims, declaring them inconsistent with international law. Beijing rejected the ruling outright and has continued its island-building and militarization campaign. For the Philippines, this has meant frequent confrontations at sea, Chinese Coast Guard ships blocking resupply missions, harassing fishermen, and in some cases using water cannons or military-grade lasers to drive them away. These incidents underline the stakes: sovereignty, security, and survival. As the Philippines upgrades its facilities and deepens ties with Washington, the risk of confrontation rises. Analysts warn that increased air traffic to Pag-asa could lead to mid-air encounters with Chinese jets. Naval patrols from Palawan and Balabac may find themselves face-to-face with Chinese warships. Each incident carries the potential for miscalculation, and miscalculation in these crowded waters could spiral into a larger crisis. The United States has made its position clear. Under the 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty, an armed attack on Philippine forces, aircraft, or vessels in the South China Sea would trigger U.S. defense commitments. This declaration, repeated by multiple U.S. administrations, raises the stakes for Beijing. The Philippines is not just another ally. It is a linchpin in America's Pacific defense strategy. It anchors the southern part of the first island chain. It provides forward bases for surveillance and rapid response. It hosts sea lanes critical to global trade. And it sits within striking distance of China's artificial island bases. Without the Philippines, the U.S. defense architecture in Asia would have a gaping hole. With the Philippines, Washington has a partner positioned right at the heart of the contest. So where does this leave us? The Philippines has made its choice: to stand firm, to upgrade its defenses, and to strengthen its alliance with the United States. But this choice comes with risks. Every runway built, every base upgraded, every patrol launched will be watched closely by Beijing. China, for its part, shows no signs of backing down. Its navy is expanding at record pace, its artificial islands are fully militarized, and its leaders remain determined to assert control over the South China Sea. The result is a dangerous game of cat and mouse, one that will shape not just the Philippines' future, but the entire Pacific balance of power. Once dismissed as a secondary player, the Philippines now stands at the very center of the struggle between America and China. From Pag-asa's extended runway to Palawan's new facilities, from Balabac's forward base to the legacy of Subic Bay, the Philippines is both a frontline state and a test case. Can a smaller nation, backed by an ally, resist the pressure of a rising great power? That is the question the world is watching, and the answer will shape Asia's future for decades to come. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more deep dives into the forces reshaping the world. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep your eyes on the shifting tides of the Pacific.